When it comes to the creation of an anime, adapting a well-established and accessible manga is a very hard task. Various factors determine the quality and even success. Many look at the standard of animation to determine this at face value, but something more important to me is the inclusion of all the manga content. I don't really like when they remove aspects of the story or certain moments that enhance the enjoyment and understanding of the series. Baki, for the most part, has been pretty good at this, providing most of the manga material, at least until the most recent season. The big build up to the Yujiro vs Baki fight. There was a lot of stuff before that and even during that was outright removed from the anime. So let's go over some of the cut content. The first and major one I wanted to mention was the reveal of Yujiro Hanma's mother. For reference, this reveal happened in the manga right before Pickle pulled up to interrupt the fight, a chapter pretty much dedicated to the reveal and that she's actually still alive, so let's go over it. We cut to a location on top of these mountains where someone is talking about their child Yujiro Hanma and that this lady stopped being his mother because he was too much of a great vessel, something much more than her. So much so that he did this the second he was pretty much born, showing that she's gone down the side of faith to, I guess, forget about what the ogre did to her, claiming that you could call the ogre a disgusting being, and that the first thing you should absolutely know is that he is an extremely dark man as we cut back to the fight itself. So this entire scene isn't that long and doesn't really add anything to the fight itself, as all the information revealed about the ogre was pretty much known, but the fact of actually seeing who his mother is very important, and I think this should have been included, alongside just building up theories on what happened to her, the long awaited past they want to see for the ogre, and how this relates to his father as well, Yujiro Hanma, who thankfully did make his iconic appearance during the anime, but not everything exactly revealed about him. Many people like to praise certain anime when they extend the fight scenes for characters from the manga. You could say that's a main goal of various anime, to make the manga material even better and expand on some stuff, but they pretty much did the opposite for the whole Yujiro reveal. Instead of including him beating up all these people, they just didn't really show it all. Imagine if they went into like a 10-minute segment of showing Yujiro Hanma using the dress technique, or even a moment of him unleashing the demon back and showing everyone being scared in slow motion or something along the lines of that. Expanding this crazy moment that we've wanted to get more of would have been the perfect outcome. But coming back to the content that was outright removed, during the build up of Baki vs Yujiro, we had the mini arc where Baki was having those various fights with Shiba, alongside of us getting the Retsu boxing arc. There were quite a few other things that occurred throughout this. For example, various chapters dedicated just to hyping up Yujiro Hanma. For example, I've talked about this a few times now, the chapter where Yujiro Hanma tanks lightning, which is implied to be an attack from God. This moment was kinda shown in the opening, but in the manga it was a full chapter with a lot of cool interesting stuff shown in it. A similar thing was revealed for Yujiro at various other points as well. Multiple chapters just to hyping up this absolute monster. You could say they're not absolutely necessary, but considering the meme culture around Baki, they definitely should have been included. Apart from that, there were some things removed from the Retsu boxing arc, but the fact that it was included was, I guess, good enough. There was chapters dedicated to some other characters though, showing what they're doing during this time, namely Doppo Orochi, who had some pretty badass moments that were outright removed. And even though you could say they're not really important to the Baki and Yujiro arc in building up that fight itself, it's an aspect of Baki that makes it so likable, just the random stuff the characters end up doing, and how some are just known for roaming the streets and beating up random people, as that's just what they do. In the chapter, which for reference is chapter 238, where we first learn Doppo Orochi's perspective on karate as a sport, and how as a martial art it has a deeper meaning to him. It's for karate that Doppo exists in this world, and the purpose of him is to learn new techniques for this karate, showing his dedication, which is to the utmost extreme. Cutting to this guy who's showing Tokugawa some surveillance footage of Doppo having a clash with this guy referred to as a hunter. We cut to the exact moment where Doppo begins following him in the street as he can sense bloodlust coming from him, alongside working out that he must be carrying a knife, as Doppo is somehow able to smell metal from him from this far away and notices his center of gravity being a little bit off, being able to assume the size of it considering all of this, showing his analytical abilities and how experienced he truly is once again. Therefore, Doppo Orochi saves this kid and takes out this knife-wielding hunter in one of the most brutal ways we've ever seen. It begins with this attack to his throat and then this. Enjoy it. Imagine if this was animated, absolutely peak. But this chapter isn't just for that moment, there's another purpose to it as well, revealing in the final panel that in the sport known as karate, there are certain techniques that should not be known to it, adding an extra layer to Doppo Orochi and what he is capable of if he's required in a specific fight. Apart from that, we have various moments for Goki as well, including him talking to Baki at various points. Throughout the series, it's made clear that Goki is one of the most respected characters in the entire series, even in current Baki, where characters like Motobe refer to him as sensei. Likewise for Jack and Doppo Orochi, his experience is off the charts and what he's capable of doing is pretty much unique to himself, so getting this emphasized even in build-up arcs like this is very important, alongside a chapter where we have Baki and Goki talking, also featuring a very badass moment that reminds me of one of my favorite episodes from Dragon Ball Z. Remember the whole punching bag scene at the start of the tournament when Goki was coming back for the day? But we have a similar moment where Baki is roaming the street and ends up having a turn on one of these, outright destroying the bag, and you can see the panels on screen now. It isn't major, it isn't important, but it's cool and I would love to have it animated. There's also many other little moments like this that have been cut from the Baki anime, even in earlier seasons. A lot of them aren't major to understanding the whole plot, but honestly just cool little scenes that make what Baki is and wish they were included into the anime season. You could say this video is once again a reminder to read the Baki manga. From the very first manga, Grapple Baki, one of the greatest parts in the entire Baki series, and also catching up to the current Baki manga, Baki Rahan, with a new volume cover dropping for our boy Jack. Finally getting some that this aren't Baki Hanma, which seems to be the case for every other series at this point. Now, before leaving you guys alone for now, the official partner of the channel, GamerSupps, is always dropping new products. Check out the link in the description for 10% off anything you want to check out, alongside this being an additional way to support the channel. Shout out to the members, these absolute mad lads. More videos soon. That's it guys. Peace.